You know, there's something almost sacred about mornings after 60. The house is quiet, the air feels cooler, and if you're lucky, you can still hear the birds before the world gets noisy. For many of us, retired teachers, veterans, grandmothers, mailmen, mornings used to be the start of go, go, go. But now, they're the one part of the day we get to ourselves. But here's what no one really talks about. The first thing we put into our body each morning can shape how we feel, not just for the next few hours, but for the next 10, 15, even 20 years of our life. I learned this the hard way through my friend George. George is 78, retired mechanic, built his own cabin upstate. But one winter morning he called me, his voice a little slurred. He said, "Something's off. I just feel weird, weak on one side." By the time I got there, he was still standing, still smiling, but his coffee cup was sitting untouched. He never finished it. George had experienced a minor stroke, not because of one big mistake, but because of years of tiny ones. Skipping breakfast, too much sugar, not enough healthy fats to protect his arteries, not enough magnesium or potassium, and no one ever told him how food could help his blood flow. I sat with him in the hospital later that week, and I remember him saying, "If someone had just told me the right breakfast, maybe I wouldn't be here." And that stuck with me, because stroke doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. And breakfast, believe it or not, can whisper back, can protect your brain, can keep your blood vessels strong, can stabilize your sugar, your pressure, your nerves. But here's the thing. Most seniors in America are still eating breakfasts that work against their brain. White toast, sugary cereals, just coffee. And they don't realize there are simple, delicious options that could cut stroke risk dramatically. So today, I want to walk with you, like I wish I had with George, through 7 underrated breakfast foods that can help protect your arteries, your brain, and your peace of mind. You don't have to become a health nut. You don't have to stop enjoying breakfast. But you do need to know what's helping you and what might be quietly hurting you. Because stroke prevention doesn't begin at the doctor's office. It starts at your kitchen table. Let's begin. 1. Ground flax seeds. The tiny breakfast habit. That could save your brain. About a year ago, my old friend Marvin, he's 79 now, invited me over for breakfast. Nothing fancy. Just coffee, toast, and some old Sinatra records playing in the background. But as he was spreading jam on his toast, he said something that stuck with me. "You know, Doc's worried about my cholesterol again. Said my arteries are getting stubborn. Guess that's just age catching up." I smiled and said, "Maybe. But there's one tiny thing you're missing at breakfast that could make a big difference." He looked puzzled, so I pulled a small jar out of my coat pocket. It was filled with ground flax seeds. "Marv," I said, "this could help keep you out of the hospital." So, what's so special about ground flax seeds? Let me break it down. Flax seeds may be small, but they pack 3 powerhouse nutrients that specifically support stroke prevention. Alpha-lanolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that reduces inflammation and helps keep blood vessels flexible. Lignans, powerful antioxidants that fight oxidative stress and lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind. Soluble fiber, helps regulate blood sugar, improves digestion, and may lower blood pressure. Now here's where it gets serious. In a study published in Hypertension, seniors who added 30 grams, about 3 tablespoons of ground flaxseed daily, saw their systolic blood pressure drop by up to 10 points after 6 months. That kind of drop can reduce your risk of stroke by over 35%, according to the American Heart Association. Why it matters. More after 60. As we get older, our arteries stiffen. Tiny tears in the artery lining invite cholesterol and calcium to stick and build up, what we call plaque. Over time, this narrows blood flow to the brain. Flax seeds help in 3 important ways. They reduce systemic inflammation, making arteries less likely to clog. They improve cholesterol ratios, lowering the risk of clot formation. And they help balance blood sugar, which protects the small vessels in the brain and eyes. And yet most seniors have never even tried them. The common mistake that makes flax seeds useless. Here's something few people know. If you eat whole flax seeds, they often pass right through your body. Undigested. That's right. You could be eating them for months and getting no benefit at all. To unlock their stroke-fighting power, they must be ground. You can buy them pre-ground, called flax meal, or grind them fresh in a coffee grinder at home. Also, store them in an airtight jar in the fridge. Ground flax goes rancid quickly due to the delicate oils inside. How I add flax to my breakfast, and how you can too. Stir 1 tablespoon into hot oatmeal or cream of wheat. Blend into a morning smoothie with banana and almond butter. Mix with peanut butter and spread on whole grain toast. Add to homemade muffins or pancakes, 1 tablespoon per serving. Sprinkle over cottage cheese, yogurt, or even scrambled eggs. And here's my favorite. Flax plus cinnamon, plus chopped walnuts over baked sweet potato. Simple, powerful, delicious. A word of caution for some seniors. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, flaxseed may enhance bleeding risk. If you have low blood pressure, be mindful. It may drop slightly more. And if you have digestive issues like diverticulitis, introduce flax slowly, 1 teaspoon at a time. Always talk to your doctor before making big dietary changes. Final thought. From Marvin's kitchen to yours. Marvin took my advice. Started small, just a teaspoon every morning. Today, he swears by it. He even told me, I might still have wrinkles, but my blood vessels are feeling young again. So here's my gentle nudge to you, friend. Don't overlook the tiny things, because sometimes a small daily habit can protect the biggest gift of all, your independence, your mind, your life. 2. Beet greens, a forgotten leaf that could save your heart. I remember visiting my neighbor Ellen last spring. She's 72, always had a garden, always smiling. But what surprised me that morning was what she was tossing out, a big bunch of fresh beet greens. She said, "Oh, I never eat these. Just keep the beets. Didn't even know the leaves were edible." And you know what? She's not alone. Most folks toss beet greens into the compost, not realizing they're throwing away one of the most powerful brain and heart protective foods on the planet. Let me tell you why that's a mistake. Why beet greens matter. After 60 beet greens, those leafy tops of the beetroot are loaded with natural nitrates. Now you might have heard nitrates are bad, but that's only true for processed ones like those in bacon or deli meat. The nitrates in vegetables like beet greens are a completely different story. When you eat them, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule that helps widen your blood vessels, improve circulation, and lower blood pressure. And here's the key. Reduced nitric oxide is one of the silent causes of poor circulation and stroke risk in seniors. By boosting nitric oxide naturally, beet greens can help keep your arteries flexible, reduce clot risk, and improve blood flow to the brain, especially important in the early morning hours when most strokes occur. What else do they give you? Vitamin K1 supports healthy blood clotting, but in balance, which matters for stroke prevention. Lutein and zeaxanthin, eye protective antioxidants that also reduce inflammation in brain tissue. Potassium and magnesium, crucial for nerve signals and steady heart rhythm, especially if you've ever felt palpitations after waking up. How to use them at breakfast. Sauté them lightly with olive oil and garlic and serve with scrambled eggs. Add to a veggie omelet. They wilt down fast and blend well with red peppers or mushrooms. Toss into a smoothie. Just a small handful adds nutrition without overwhelming taste. or mixed with avocado toast instead of spinach. And yes, they're even tastier than kale when cooked right. Senior tip: if you're on blood thinners like warfarin, Coumadin, talk to your doctor before increasing high vitamin K greens. You can still enjoy them. Just keep intake consistent day to day. Final thought: Ellen doesn't throw her beet greens away anymore. In fact, she told me last week, "I think I like the greens more than the beets now." And for good reason. These humble leaves, often tossed aside, could quietly support your brain, protect your heart, and help you wake up stronger each day. So next time you buy beets, don't throw away the most powerful part. 3. Unsweetened almond butter, a spoonful of strength for your brain and arteries. A few months back, my friend Bill, he's 79, told me he started skipping breakfast, said he wasn't hungry in the morning anymore. But when I asked him what he used to eat, he chuckled and said, "Just toast with a little jelly, probably more sugar than toast." That's when I introduced him to a small but mighty change, a spoonful of unsweetened almond butter in the morning. It's simple, it's delicious, and for seniors, it might just be one of the most protective breakfast upgrades you can make. Why almond butter matters. After 60 almonds are packed with monounsaturated fats, the kind of fat your heart loves. These healthy fats help lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, while maintaining or even boosting HDL cholesterol, the good kind. That means better blood flow and lower plaque buildup in arteries, both key for reducing stroke risk. But that's just the start. Here's what you're getting in just 1 tablespoon of unsweetened almond butter. Magnesium, essential for keeping blood pressure stable and preventing artery spasms. Vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects blood vessels from oxidative damage. L-arginine, an amino acid that supports nitric oxide production, relaxing blood vessels for better circulation. Plant-based protein helps maintain muscle mass, balance blood sugar, and keep you full longer. But make it unsweetened. Many commercial nut butters, even the natural ones, sneak in added sugar and hydrogenated oils. So always check the label. You want ingredients, almonds. That's it. Easy morning ways to enjoy. Almond butter, spread on whole grain toast with sliced banana, stir into warm oatmeal or overnight oats. Blend into a smoothie with Greek yogurt and berries. Dip apple slices or celery sticks for a crunchy, balanced bite. And here's a tip from Bill. He adds a spoonful to his morning coffee for a creamy, nutty flavor and a slow, steady energy boost. What the research says. According to a 2020 study published in the journal Stroke, diets rich in nuts and healthy fats are associated with significantly lower risk of ischemic stroke in older adults, especially when they replace refined carbs and saturated fats. That means trading jelly for almond butter might do more than cut sugar. It might literally protect your brain. Final thought. Bill's not skipping breakfast anymore. He says that little scoop of almond butter not only keeps him full, it keeps his mind sharp and his energy steady until lunch. And honestly, I've made the switch too. So if you're tired of sugar-filled spreads, or you're just looking for a breakfast that does more for your body, give almond butter a try. Because sometimes, the smartest way to prevent a stroke is with something as simple as a spoon. 4. Hibiscus tea. The flower that lowers pressure and protects your brain. A few years ago, my friend Linda, she's 75 now, gave me a small jar of dried hibiscus petals. She said, "Steep this at night or in the morning. It helped my blood pressure more than anything else I've tried." Now, Linda's always been health conscious, but even she was surprised at what a simple red tea could do. Because hibiscus tea isn't just a beautiful tart drink. It's one of the most powerful natural protectors against stroke, and yet most seniors in America have never even tried it. What is hibiscus tea? Hibiscus tea is made by steeping the dried petals of the Hibiscus sabdariffa flower. It has a ruby red color and a tart, cranberry-like flavor. In many cultures, from Egypt to Mexico, it's been used for centuries to cool the body, aid digestion, and regulate blood pressure. But it's only in the last 2 decades that science has confirmed what tradition already knew. Why it matters for stroke prevention. As we age, high blood pressure becomes one of the most dangerous risk factors for stroke. According to the CDC, nearly 2 out of 3 adults over 60 have elevated or high blood pressure, and many don't even know it. That's where hibiscus tea comes in. Here's what research shows. A study from the Journal of Nutrition found that drinking 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily lowered systolic blood pressure by 7 points on average in adults with prehypertension or mild hypertension after just 6 weeks. Another review published in Phytomedicine showed hibiscus extract to be as effective as some blood pressure medications, but without the side effects. That's no small thing. Lowering blood pressure, even by 5 to 10 points, can cut your risk of stroke nearly in half. How hibiscus tea works. Hibiscus is rich in anthocyanins and polyphenols, natural plant compounds that relax blood vessels by increasing nitric oxide, reduce inflammation in arteries, lower cholesterol, act as diuretics, helping to gently remove excess fluid from the body. This means better blood flow, lower pressure, and less stress on the arteries that supply your brain. How to drink it and enjoy it. Use 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried hibiscus petals per cup. Steep in hot, not boiling water for 5 to 10 minutes. Add a slice of lemon or cinnamon stick for warmth. Drink in the morning on an empty stomach or in the afternoon as a relaxing break. Avoid adding sugar. If needed, try a drop of honey or a piece of dried apple to sweeten it naturally. And one tip from Linda: she makes a pitcher, chills it overnight, and sips it cold with breakfast. Refreshing and heart-healthy. A few cautions. Hibiscus tea may lower blood pressure quickly, so if you're already on BP meds, talk to your doctor first. It can also interact with diuretics or ACE inhibitors. Again, check with your physician. Avoid it if you have low blood pressure or are allergic to hibiscus species. Final thought. I started drinking hibiscus tea regularly after seeing what it did for Linda. Now, it's part of my morning ritual, too. There's something calming, almost sacred, about starting your day with a tea that's quietly working to protect your brain and heart. So if you've never tried hibiscus tea, maybe it's time. Not just because it tastes good, but because one small cup, brewed with intention, could help keep you here. Healthy, clear-minded, and strong. For many mornings to come. 10.5. Boiled eggs with red bell peppers. A simple breakfast for brain power and stroke defense. When my neighbor Carl turned 80, I asked him what he eats for breakfast. He smiled and said, 2 boiled eggs and half a red pepper, chopped fresh, every day for the last 5 years. I was curious. Carl's still sharp as a tack. He plays chess better than I do, and he hasn't missed his morning walk in over a decade. But what stuck with me wasn't just the routine. It was the science behind it, and how these 2 humble foods work together to protect the aging brain. Why boiled eggs? Eggs, especially boiled ones, are a nutritional powerhouse for seniors. They're packed with choline, a vital nutrient for brain function and memory, vitamin B12, helps prevent cognitive decline and brain shrinkage. Protein supports muscle repair, energy, and satiety. Lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that protect brain and eye cells. But here's what most people don't realize. Choline, found in the egg yolk, is especially important for stroke prevention and recovery. It helps maintain healthy blood vessels in the brain and may reduce inflammation linked to vascular damage. And because eggs are easy to chew, quick to prepare, and inexpensive, They're perfect for older adults looking for brain-friendly meals without the fuss. Why red bell peppers? Now let's talk about Carl's favorite side dish, red bell peppers. They're not just colorful. They're loaded with vitamin C, beta-carotene, and powerful antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in your blood vessels. Here's what makes red peppers special for stroke prevention. High in potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure. Anti-inflammatory compounds like quercetin that protect arterial walls. Low in sugar and calories, making them ideal for seniors managing weight and diabetes. And one small pepper contains more vitamin C than an orange, which plays a key role in keeping your arteries strong and elastic. The perfect pair. When you pair boiled eggs with red bell peppers, you get a balanced, low-sodium, nutrient-dense meal that supports blood vessel health, protects brain function, reduces stroke risk, keeps energy steady all morning, and it's ready in less than 10 minutes. How to prepare it. Boil 2 eggs for 8 to 9 minutes, slice or dice half a red bell pepper, sprinkle a pinch of black pepper or turmeric for extra benefits, add a few baby spinach leaves or avocado slices if you want a fuller plate. Simple, satisfying, smart. Carl's tip? He preps his red peppers in batches, slices them ahead for the week and stores them in a container in the fridge. That way, no excuses in the morning. Final thought. Sometimes the best medicine isn't found in a bottle. It's in 2 boiled eggs and a pepper, chopped with love. If you're over 60 and looking for a breakfast that truly supports your heart, brain, and energy, you don't need anything fancy, just the right ingredients and a little consistency. Like Carl says, don't wait until something breaks to start taking care of it. 6. Roasted sweet potatoes with cinnamon. The comfort food that cares for your arteries. Every Thanksgiving, my friend Helen, she's 78, bakes a tray of sweet potatoes sprinkled with cinnamon. But last winter, she told me something surprising. I don't just make them for holidays anymore, she said. I eat a small serving almost every morning now. Not for the taste, though that helps. It's because my cardiologist told me it's one of the smartest things I can do for my heart. And the more I researched it, the more I understood why. Why sweet potatoes matter. After 60, sweet potatoes aren't just soft and comforting. They're rich in nutrients that directly support cardiovascular and brain health. Here's what makes them ideal for stroke prevention. High in potassium. This helps lower blood pressure by counteracting sodium in your diet. Packed with fiber. Supports healthy cholesterol and digestion, reducing artery plaque risk rich in antioxidants. Especially beta-carotene, which protects blood vessels from damaged low glycemic index, prevents blood sugar spikes, especially when roasted rather than fried. And unlike regular white potatoes, sweet potatoes are digested slower, keeping blood sugar and energy levels more stable, which is crucial for seniors with diabetes or prediabetes. The power of cinnamon is more than just a spice. It's a natural anti-inflammatory and circulation booster. Just a half teaspoon of cinnamon a day has been shown in multiple studies to reduce LDL, bad cholesterol, improve blood sugar control, enhance blood flow to the brain, reduce markers of inflammation linked to stroke. And for seniors, that means lower stroke risk, better vascular flexibility, and potentially improved memory and cognition. How to make it simple and delicious. Peel and chop 1 small sweet potato into cubes. Toss with a drizzle of olive oil and a light sprinkle of cinnamon. Roast in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius, for about 20 to 25 minutes until golden and tender. Optional. Add chopped walnuts or a few pumpkin seeds for crunch and added brain nutrients. Helen preps a whole tray once a week and keeps it in the fridge. Each morning, she reheats a small serving and enjoys it with a hard-boiled egg or a cup of hibiscus tea. Why this breakfast works. Roasted sweet potatoes with cinnamon are anti-inflammatory blood pressure, friendly, easy to chew and digest, naturally sweet, no added sugar needed. This combination helps protect your arteries, balance your blood sugar, and support brain circulation, all without medications or side effects. Final thought. There's something beautiful about starting your morning with warmth. Not just emotional warmth, but literal healing warmth from food that's been shown to nourish your heart and mind. So next time you feel like grabbing a processed breakfast bar or skipping the meal entirely, think of Helen. Think of how a humble sweet potato and a pinch of cinnamon can become your daily act of self-care. Because protecting your brain doesn't always require a big change. Sometimes it starts with a small tray, in a warm oven, and the choice to treat yourself kindly. 7. Frozen blueberries. A cold start that protects your brain for years to come. My neighbor George, a 79-year-old retired librarian, has a morning ritual he never skips. Every sunrise, he pours a handful of frozen blueberries into a small ceramic bowl, waits exactly 5 minutes, then eats them slowly, one by one. He once told me with a wink, "These little guys keep my memory sharp enough to still beat my grandson at chess." And you know what? He's not wrong. Why frozen blueberries are a morning superfood. Blueberries, especially wild or frozen, are loaded with anthocyanins, a powerful class of antioxidants that reduce inflammation in blood vessels, improve circulation in small arteries, including those in the brain, support memory, focus, and mental clarity, help lower blood pressure naturally. According to Harvard researchers, eating blueberries at least once a week can slow brain aging by up to 2.5 years. And when eaten in the morning, when the body is naturally more insulin sensitive, the benefits may be even stronger. Why frozen may be better than fresh? It sounds surprising, but frozen blueberries often contain higher antioxidant levels than fresh ones you buy at the grocery store. That's because they're picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen within hours, preserving nutrients that would otherwise degrade during transport and shelf time. And for seniors, frozen berries also offer soft texture when thawed, great for sensitive teeth, convenient storage, lasts months in the freezer, easy portion control, no prep, no peeling, just rinse and eat. Simple ways to enjoy them, on top of warm oatmeal or overnight oats, mixed into a Greek yogurt bowl with ground flax seeds, blended into a morning smoothie with almond butter, or like George, just eaten plain, slow and mindful. Pairing blueberries with healthy fats like nuts or chia also helps your body absorb the brain-boosting compounds more efficiently. The brain circulation connection. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's oxygen supply, even though it only makes up 2% of your weight. That means even a slight drop in blood flow can impair memory, reaction time, and focus. Blueberries support microcirculation, those tiny vessels that feed the brain's most critical areas. By protecting those vessels, you lower your risk of silent strokes, cognitive decline, ischemic events in the brain's frontal lobe, all from a fruit no bigger than your thumbnail. Final thought. George says he eats blueberries not just for his brain, but because it's the one thing he can do each morning that feels like a gift to his future self. So if you've ever stood in front of your fridge wondering what to eat, what's healthy enough, or easy enough, or worth the effort, let this be your answer. A frozen handful, a quiet moment, and the knowledge that you're doing something powerful for your heart, your mind, and your tomorrow. You know, when we think about preventing stroke, we often imagine hospitals, pills, scary warnings from doctors. But the truth is, stroke prevention doesn't always begin in a clinic. Sometimes it begins in your kitchen at 7 a.m. in silence. It begins with that small decision to choose flax seeds instead of toast, to reach for beets instead of bacon, to steep hibiscus tea instead of pouring another cup of black coffee. It begins with honoring your body, not because it's broken, but because it's still fighting for you, still carrying you, still waking up with you every single morning. I once asked my friend Margaret, who's 83 now, "What's one thing you do for your health every day?" She smiled and said, "I don't eat for how I feel right now. I eat for who I still want to be in 10 years. That's the power of a mindful breakfast. So tomorrow, when you open your fridge or stand at the counter, don't just think about taste. Think about strength. Think about balance. Think about the blood flowing quietly through your brain and how you can protect it, one peaceful meal at a time. Because stroke prevention isn't a moment. It's a morning habit. And you deserve mornings that lead to many more.